I'm sure at this point you've all heard of Bill C-10, which morphed into Bill C-11 before passing into law in Canada. Bill C-18, which is now law in Canada. Bill S-210 and Bill C-63 are still in the workings, but these are all bills aimed at free speech in Canada, especially online. And this is a political move from Justin Trudeau to stay in power. But it seems that it's not even necessary to target some creators, as we've seen this week. Now, of course, I'm talking about Northern Perspective, the YouTube channel that, many people on this channel are familiar with. Many people who frequent this channel are also frequenting Northern Perspective. If you're not, I'll leave a link right at the very top of the description down below. You can go check out their channel. They're in some hot water as of recently, and I'm going to get into that. Now, for the longest time, they were, two anonymous characters on the internet. I've had them on the show, and, even in my live interviews, I couldn't have them on video because of, the fact that Cypher worked for the government. Now, they were instrumental, and this, I think, is the main crux of it. They were instrumental in bringing the ArriveCan debacle to the forefront in the news cycle. Many of the news organizations wanted to let that one slip and slide away into the panels of history, but no, they were persistent, and they brought it to the forefront and actually got the legislature, got the Parliament to focus on this massively, and it became a giant outcry and largely successful, might I add. And it's led to lots of great things. We're even hearing news, this is from Blacklocks reporter, MP's bill would jail the liars. Witnesses who lie to parliamentary committees face a minimum of 6 months in jail and a threat of $50,000 fine under private bill introduced Friday. It's a mechanism to restore Canadians' confidence in our democratic institutions, said Conservative MP Michael Berrett, the sponsor of the bill. Now, it actually passed, and this is great news.
And a warrant to be issued. Good afternoon, folks. I'm coming to you live from outside the House of Commons, where the motion that we had passed at committee that would allow for the summoning and a warrant to be issued and the arrest of the contractors from GC Strategies should they refuse to appear. Well, that motion just passed in the House of Commons. And so this is big news when first, the Liberals originally refused to pass the motion. But, recognizing that this has already been passed in committee and that they'll be responsible for covering up this massive scandal, we were able to force them in the House to pass the motion just now.
So a lot of the popularity of this piece, a lot of the sentiment, a lot of the people pushing for this to happen is largely due to Northern Perspective, and I think they have a huge hand in this whole thing. Now, this is what I believe has led to them being outed, and they posted this video just yesterday, and it was massive news. I put it out on Twitter saying exposing the Trudeau government's corruption cost YouTube creator Northern Perspective his career. Fox and Cypher shed their anonymity and to tell all in this video. Link in the description. Of course, I'm going to leave a link in the description, but for the sake of talking about this, I'm going to show a short clip of this. This is them coming out and saying this is what's happened to them.
For over a year, you've known us as Cypher and Fox, the voices behind Northern Perspective. Our real names are Ryan and Tanya, and we're just a regular Canadian family living in the riding of Flamborough-Glanbrook.
Today, we stand before you not just as voices behind a screen, but as ordinary Canadians with a shared passion for truth and justice. Until recently, I worked as a public servant for the federal government. In March of 2024, the Treasury Board Secretariat issued a directive. And that directive was ordering all government employees to disclose any side income that they may have to their employer. We believe that our extensive work on the ArriveCan scandal was a direct consequence to this directive being issued.
Now, before he gets into that, this is a great point. Why would the government want to ask people, especially in different departments, we need you to disclose to us any other income that you're making? I mean, that's between you and perhaps Revenue Canada, that kind of thing. What are they're worried about you moonlighting, serving tables at the local coffee shop, that kind of thing? What would actually be the purpose of trying to ask people what it is that they're doing in their own time, in their free time, to make additional money to support themselves, especially in this day and age when, heck, everybody needs to you need to have a side gig to even afford to live in this country anymore with the crazy inflation that's going on. So yeah, it seems very suspicious that they would even want to, inquire about what other people, little side incomes they've got going. So this is a way of them, pulling this, confidential information, private information from Fox and Cypher here in order to out them and their largely successful channel and endeavor to expose government corruption. And that itself is well, it's absurd. It's something that's happening in Canada, but it's also happened to them. And this is why I'm really doing this video, is because I want to draw more attention to this and say, to people, they need your support at this point, if anything, more than ever.
So, as a result of that, I disclosed Northern Perspective to my employer. Shortly after that, I was given a choice. Some would say an ultimatum. Cease all activity with Northern Perspective or exit the organization. Now, this was despite the fact that what we were doing was not illegal, and despite the fact that all activity related to Northern Perspective was on my private time, on my own equipment, and done anonymously. This was despite the fact that I had a distinguished performance record. This was an impossible choice for me and our family. As many of you know, I am the sole income earner in our household. We also have a young autistic son whose therapies are expensive and were being funded by the additional income we earned through Northern Perspective. We have always stood for the right to speak freely, to criticize when necessary, and to hold our leaders accountable. We believe it is the right and the duty of every Canadian to speak out against corruption, and Fox and I believe that we fulfill this duty through our work with Northern Perspective.
Absolutely. And you guys have been doing a bang up job. And I can't recommend your channel enough to everybody out there. Seriously, if you're watching this, link at the very top of the description. Again, make sure you're going over there, subscribe, leave comments, do whatever you can to support this channel. But this is egregious what's happening in Canada with exactly this. This is a complete infringement of their rights to their privacy, to the things that they're doing in their free time. But this is par for the course, I suppose, in Canada, as we've seen with Justin Trudeau and the way he behaves in this country. And whether this was brought directly from Trudeau, or if it was brought from an MP, or if it was brought directly from the bureaucracy itself and their political leanings, this is it's egregious, and it should not be taking place. This should never happen in a free, fair, and open society, a free democratic society. People, even if they work for the government and want to do something on the side and criticize that said government, should be able to. It is within their rights to do so, and they shouldn't have to worry about losing their jobs over the things that they do. Political speech is considered protected speech in Canada, and it should be the most protected speech in any civilization where you value free speech. Political speech, of course, is your right. At the end of the day, what speech is free speech if you can't speak your mind politically and talk about who you would want in government, what you would like them to do, and how you would like them to behave, especially when it's the case that they're massively exposing government corruption. So again, I just wanted to showcase what's happening with this channel, Northern Perspective. Over time, they've become friends, and they're doing amazing work. And I think that they're wholeheartedly, earnestly doing this for all of the right reasons, and I want to extend my appreciation for what they're doing and support, and hope that everyone that pays attention to this channel can go over and give support themselves. But hey, let me know what you think in the description, in the comments down below, before you head over to their channel to subscribe, to view more videos, to check out what they've been doing. There's a whole back catalog of things that they've published out there. You probably haven't seen it all, so get on over there and do that. Before you head over, leave a comment in the comment section down below. Let me know what you think of this whole situation, and of course, we'll see you in the next one. Keep on trucking.